I am here with Fiona Mayer. She is the founder at the Thrive Network. She is also the director of Pop Media, which does web design and social media management. She is also the co-chairperson of Flexible Workspace Australia, which is fairly new since we last talked, at least. So I can't wait to dive into that. Fiona, it's so great to connect and catch up. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for asking me.
Yeah.
I brought a friend as well.
I know. Anybody, if you're not
he's just going to sit on my lap. He's a lap warmer today.
Wait, what is his or her name?
This is Scout.
Oh, Scout. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the other one? The other one on the couch?
Oh, I've got another little one called Bear.
Bear.
He's down on the floor. He's on a cushion. They're very spoiled.
Adorable. So
yeah.
I love that. Those are very like dog-like names.
I know my partner wants to get a dog and call it Wayne or Sharon, so that in the park he can just yell out Wayne.
Well, so I told you in our pre-chat we're getting a puppy on Tuesday, and we had a name picked out. We do jazz names. So our dog is Louie. Our dog that we lost last year was Miles, and so we wanted to do Ella.
Yes, perfect.
We're getting a mini golden doodle. So the breeder named her Cholula, which we think is a very fun name. So we're tempted to keep it, but Cholula, there was a brother left with Cholula, and the brother's name was Todd.
Oh,
just like Wayne, I was like, Todd?
Yeah,
Cholula
it's so good.
And Todd.
Yeah, it's like when you're in the park yelling out the dog's name, you're yelling for a child. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So we thought that was really funny. We're like, somebody needs to pick a more dog-like name when they adopt Todd. Okay, so tell us where you are. So you're in Melbourne, Australia. It's morning for you. It's 5 o'clock for me. It's
morning.
It's for us.
It's the middle of winter. It's about 12 degrees. It's very grey outside. So I'm in Melbourne. I'm actually working from home today because, and anyone who owns a co-working space will appreciate this, is that when I want to get some work done and I'm not working in the co-working space, if I'm just there to sit at a desk, I can't get anything done because everybody wants to chat. They want to ask me questions. My staff will come up to me. So it's actually, I can't work in a co-working space. I have to work from home. So I've just put my background up today. So you feel like I'm in the co-working space. That's the kitchen behind me.
Perfect. For anybody who's new to co-working and listening, if they haven't figured this out yet, that it's a thing. I've heard some people say they get memberships at other people's spaces.
Oh, 100%. I always say that to the other people in FWA. I'm just going to come and work at your space for the day because I can't work at mine. And I, in fact, did have Danielle, who's our treasurer for FWA, turn up the other day saying, can I work here for the day?
Totally. It's so fun. Unless you're willing to take an office, which makes it non-revenue generating. So most people are not.
Exactly.
Okay. So tell us about your co-working story. How did you get into co-working? What did you do pre-co-working? Set the stage.
So I have a social media management and web design agency, which I've had for a long time, probably 16, 17 years now. So I was always working in that. And I started using a co-working space in Footscray called the Idea Collective, run by Liana, who is a member of FWA, who's amazing. And it was such a beautiful space and I really enjoyed going in there. And I kept talking about it to my partner, and we have another business which is project management and construction, so he's an engineer, and he was like, oh, if we did it we could do this and this, and I'd come home and go, if we did it we could do this and this. So it was one of those things. We wanted to build a space really that we would be really happy to work out of, so a space that was just a really professional space but relaxed with a good community. And anyway, so eventually we just made this sort of pipe dream into a reality. We started looking at properties and, I thought we were going to start with something small that was maybe going to fit about 20 people in, that was quite manageable. And we ended up building Thrive, which is about 1,000 square meters over 2 levels. And that can sort of fit probably about 150 people. So, you know, my idea of 20 people quickly became 150 people once my partner got his hands on the idea. So yeah, we found this building and it was just a shell. So we completely fitted it out. And off we went. And that was back in 2018. We opened at the beginning of 2018. And I was not prepared in any way, shape or form for what co-working entailed. So
Did
it was
it look easy? Like as a member, you were like, yeah, I've reverse engineered that. I can do that all day long.
Totally.
Yeah.
That is totally it. And I thought I was just going to be wandering around having coffees with people and, you know, chatting to them. It was, I couldn't have been more unprepared if I'd tried. But it sort of, you know, it blossomed pretty quickly. It was so much work. I was really exhausted for the first year. Like
You're still running your agency.
I was still running my agency. My Polly just started our other business. I think my son had just started year 7. My eldest son had just started at university. Like it was just crazy. It's almost like, it's not a bad dream, but it's just this sort of thing that happened in somebody else's life. Like it was really hard work, and I'm super glad that we did it. But if I did it again, there are so many things I would do differently in just so many ways. But anyway, we muddled through.
I feel like that is life. As you get older, do you not think, how did someone not make a handbook so I don't like mess this up?
I know.
Like, so many things.
Yeah.
I was, speaking of the puppy, we have friends, we were at their house for dinner last week. They just got a puppy. The puppy pooped on the carpet. And I'm like, it's a nice rug. And I was like, my OCD's like, oh my God. She whips out her like Bissell stain remover thing. And she's like, oh, my friend sent this over. She was like, you had to have this. And I was like, how do we not know we need to have this? Like kids and dogs, you know, many later, and we don't know, like, it's one, you know, it's just
one of those things.
We always think things should be easier, and they're not. But
no, and in a way, you can learn some really good lessons in that baptism by fire. You know, you learn the hard way, but you learn the lesson really well. Like you only ever make the mistake once, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. And look, a lot of the mistakes were probably mistakes that were not customer facing. You know, like nobody would have noticed except me, just like dying inside. But I don't think that anybody else would really have noticed or have seen the behind the scenes, which is, you know, lucky and important, I think. So yeah,
totally. So your partner does construction and project management. Is he involved in the operations? Was he?
No, not anymore. He was early on, but that business that we have has really grown exponentially in the last sort of 3 years. So we've got 2 other partners now and another couple of employees there, and he's just so busy with that. He just needs to focus on that. So he's not involved in the day-to-day running anymore. He has his office, like that business has an office in the place. But yeah, not really, unless I say to him, hey, you know, the air conditioning system isn't working. Can you go and have a look? He doesn't really do anything.
So tell me about going from, so you have 1,000 square meters, which is roughly 10,000 square feet.
Yeah.
How did you go from, 20 people to 150 people?
Well, that was really my partner working out the sums, going, we're not going to make any money with 20 people.
Okay.
We need to make this bigger. We need to be able to scale. He basically said, we have to be able to scale, or we're just going to reach like critical mass really, really quickly. And all that we're going to be able to do is basically pay our rent and maybe cover our overheads.
Right, without paying yourselves. Yeah.
Without paying ourselves. And it's not going to be a profit-making exercise. Not actually going to be a business. We're just kind of buying ourselves a job, and we already had jobs, so we didn't need to do that. So we did have it early on in our mind that we wanted to be able to scale. So we had a pretty great business plan that put us into profit with no more than 80% occupancy, and it's sort of 40% we were breaking even. And so it was a great plan, and it was going really well. I think any new business, it probably takes you 18 months to really
100%. Yes.
hit your stride, right? Like we were under no illusions that we were going to start, making it rain with cash in the first 6 months.
Yep.
So 18 months came along. We were doing really well. We're really on track. We were almost full. We had a lot of external meeting rooms because we've got a couple of big boardrooms and some other meeting rooms. So rent those out.
I remember you saying that's always been fairly
great. Meeting rooms, I always say to people, meeting rooms are the best revenue. It's so high margin, low resource. It's fantastic. So that was going really well. And then COVID. So we'd literally just like reached the peak and we were like, this is really going where we want it to go now. And I remember looking at my meeting room calendar for March 2020, which was bang on 2 years of us opening, and it was full. There was no more space. There's no more meeting rooms to be had. I was pushing people into the next month. We were taking forward bookings. And then I just saw people start to ring up and they were cancelling and they were like removing themselves and the calendar just became emptier and emptier and emptier. And I was like, what's happening? So it was a nasty shock.